Now, the desire to get a body beautiful through cosmetic surgery seems to be growing in popularity. New figures show that more than 22,000 procedures were carried out in the last year by members of the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons. Now, most of the patients were, as you can see, women. There you go, those figures for you, 89%. The majority having breast enlargements. Now, in 2004, there were just over 15,000 operations. Last year, that rose to almost 20,000. Now, for men, there you go, the top procedure, a nose job. 735 were carried out by BAAPS members last year, compared to 462 in 2004. Anti-aging procedures also on the rise, apparently. Facelifts, see what the difference that can make, up 42% apparently. Eyelid surgery has also increased by 50%. And major liposuction procedures to get rid of that unwanted fat up almost a quarter, 25%.
We weren't laughing at that, honestly. I need tips off my chair. Anyway,
that's another story.
Indeed so.
Why do people feel they need to improve? You're all right there. Don't fall over.
So.
Why do people feel they need to improve their image? To tell us about the operations that they've had, we're joined now by Susie Cork and Rebecca Slater in Bromsgrove. Good afternoon to both of you. Susie, if I can just start with you. Can I be quite rude really and ask you what surgery you've had and also why?
Sorry, was that me?
Yeah, for Susie.
Sorry, I had breast augmentation at age 41. I obviously had lost a lot of weight and had 2 children, breastfed, and basically didn't have any boobs. So really, it was just to improve that and feel good about myself again.
Well, I gather that you did it twice, though. You went from a cup A to cup B, and then decided to a D cup 2 years later. Now, does that indicate perhaps that there are other issues at play here, that you weren't happy with your body image, or that there were other things you're trying to compensate for?
Not at all, really. I think initially just being aware of the idea and realising that it's available. At the time, I was very, very thin when I first had the surgery, but when I had it done the second time, I had gained some weight, and I just felt quite comfortable with the idea of going a little bit bigger and just feeling right about myself. But it really comes down to feeling comfortable with yourself.
And you went on then to have, am I right, liposuction and also Botox?
That's right.
Why was that? What was the thinking behind that?
I think it's just realising that the surgery is the answer to problems when nothing else works. Diet, exercise and nature and life takes its toll, and I think if you are reasonably well medically suitable and affordability is there, then why not?
Now, Rebecca, no messing with you. You went straight from AA to DD, which was quite a jump.
I did indeed.
Why on earth did you do that?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't. It was a discussion between myself and the surgeon at the initial consultation stage. It wasn't a case of me wanting to go as big as possible. It was more, I mean, I'm 5'8", although I am slim, we did feel that I could hold slightly bigger implants. I do have quite a small backside, so although I'm a double D, I'm only 32 double D, so it's not huge on the grand scheme of things. The average you can normally get taken up by is 2 cup sizes, so I was very lucky enough to have a surgeon who agreed to take me as big as possible but still looking natural.
I mean, you say lucky.
Yeah, I woke up with a double D cup.
Yeah, you say lucky, but you had to put the implants under your chest muscle because there wasn't enough tissue to cover them. I mean, it is pretty drastic stuff, isn't it?
It is, but actually that wouldn't have been specific to the size of implant that I had. Had I have had half the size implants that I had at the time, I would have had to have gone submuscular with those, purely because obviously having a bag of fluid in your chest, as horrible as that sounds, that's what it is, which does get creases in it, and if they don't put it underneath the muscle, in some people you can actually feel it through the skin. So it was, it was a judgment call for myself and my surgeon, and I was very happy with the decision that he made.
Rebecca, you're one of many people who have this kind of surgery done. It is, of course, though, it's major surgery. It's still a major operation. Were you concerned about the side effects and the possible risks?
Well, I actually work for the company, so I'm lucky enough to know, well, I say lucky, maybe too much knowledge is a bad thing, but I did know the ins and outs of the surgery before I went ahead with it, so I did make a very educated decision as to where I wanted to go with the surgery. I was obviously concerned about the risks. There's risks associated with any surgery, and especially when you're putting yourself forward for that, you do sometimes think, well, if this went wrong, you know, how would I deal with that? Because it's only myself to blame, if you like. But, you know, I was lucky enough that it didn't go wrong. But I'm not going to lie, the initial recovery period after the surgery was quite traumatic emotionally. To get used to this change and to allow everything to settle down took a lot longer than I expected. So it was a difficult time, but I'm over the moon now.
Susie, you mentioned the, element of age and that things start to disappear or go in the wrong direction, whatever. Perhaps people can understand that. But what do you make of these people that end up looking physical freaks after the amount of plastic surgery they've had, and the fact that there must be something mentally going wrong there as well?
I think it's like everything in life, too much of anything isn't good. I think I also work for the company, but we would try and guide people through who are interested in having surgery, but there's quite a long process to go through before actually going on the table, as it were. We work with people to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Certainly wouldn't advocate anything really, really drastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, very quickly, do you ever actually say no to people?
Certainly, yeah, very often, more than you realise, actually.
Okay, well, you're both looking very good in it. Thanks very much indeed, both for joining us there in Bromsgrove. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go, news at sky.com for your views on that. Let's update on the top stories in the meantime. And the row